Much live.
Break the Huddle podcast with Pastor Short T.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop that.
Yo, what is up, family? It's your man, and I'm back at you again with the Break the Huddle podcast with your guy, your uncle, your favorite nephew, Pastor Short T. And I want you to know, if this is your first time tuning in, this is the podcast for the Christian student athlete to be empowered and encouraged through many testimonies. So come on in. We are about to get into it. So let's go. I'm going to hit you with the quote of the week first. And it goes like this: a wonderful gift may not be wrapped as you expect. Let me hit you with that one more time. A wonderful gift may not be wrapped as you expect. And now I want to hit you with the highlight reel. Something new that we're doing. It's our praise report. Brad, could you put that picture up, please, of Cameron Ambrose? Yeah, that should have been the first one that we got right there. That's it. All right. I just want to give a praise report, and he's on our highlight reel because when he came on the podcast in January, he plays football for Arkansas State, and he is a walk-on. But we want to give him the big highlight reel, big love, because he got a full ride scholarship. Come on, come on, come on. That's what God is doing. Also, he is up for the walk-on award for those that are awarded a scholarship. He's up for that national award as well. So show some love. Reach out to Sandrea and Derek Ambrose for their son, Cam Ambrose. He's doing great things at Arkansas State, and he's giving praise to the Lord. Man, I am fired up about that. Now we're going to get into our scripture of the week. 1 Peter 4:10. Each of you should use whatever gift you've received to serve others as faithful stewards of God, grace in its various forms. One more time. Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as a faithful stewards of God's grace in its various form. And our subject this week is art of the game. Let me introduce my guest. Where should I start? I don't know. It's plenty to say here. She is a gift from beyond the basic airbrush art. She is a mentor, teacher, student of the art world. She is a prayer warrior, a major pioneer in the gospel hip hop culture, and an award-winning airbrush artist from right here in the Birmingham, Alabama area. She's my sister, my friend, and much, much more. Show some love to my girl, Erica B. Man, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Shorty.
Man, we are in here. So I'm excited that you're here. I'm glad you can make out time for it, brother, with your busy schedule. So I'm glad about that. Now, I want you to go on and give your shout outs. Say mama and daddy name, because don't nobody know. I got people all over the world listening, so say their names, and whoever else you want to shout out, we good. It's your time.
Okay. Well, first of all, giving honor to God. Thank you so much, Lord, for this opportunity. So let's go with it. Okay, so my parents, Arnold and Cynthia Bryant, but everybody know them as Mama C and Papa B.
Yeah.
But I had to officially, because everybody don't know who Mama C is, so Mama C is Cynthia.
Yes.
Mama C, everybody know her, Papa B. Big shout out to my only loving brother, Matthew Sr. I have a nephew by the name of Matthew Jr. My niece is McKinley. Got to shout out my church, Rebirth Christian Fellowship, Pastors Doug and Shay Taylor.
Yeah.
The whole Rebirth family been supporting. I've been there 20 years and nonstop support from them. Also got to give a shout out to my supporting cast, the Prophetic Airbrush Designs team. We call them Team PAD. Laquita Danzy is my vice president. She's been with me for as long as
Yeah.
Oh my God, we were talking about this other night. She's been with me literally since she was 15 years old, supporting, and worked all the way up from being a fan, a customer, to being my first admin, to now being my vice president. So it's a blessing. Got to give a big shout out to Angel, who was also supporting cast, and I got actually a mentor and trained. It's amazing that both of their daughters are now interns with our company. So Angel and Trinita's, that's her real name, but Angel and Laquita's daughters are both mentoring, and they're being trained on how to do all of this that they do. So that's Faith and Jakayla. So I got to give them a big shout out.
Man, you did good.
I hope so.
You did good. You ran it down. So that is awesome. Okay, man, I'm excited. We're gonna do rapid fire. Okay. Rapid fire. That's our 2-minute drill of how we get down. So we're gonna roll off some things, and you are basically gonna just say first thing that comes to your head, and we just gonna go from there. All right. Favorite old school family sitcom?
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Family? Mm-hmm. Family. I mean, Martin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm from the 90s. I'm from the 90s. So
okay.
Martin all day.
Okay. Favorite fast food?
I actually used to work for them, and I still eat their Chick-fil-A.
Okay. And they closed on Sunday.
Yeah.
All right. One of the first gospel hip hop artists you heard?
Oh my God. T-Bone.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's way back in the day.
Hey, we good with that. Favorite sport you like to watch?
College football.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. You we folk for real. You in the South. All right. If you could sit down with a leader, male or female, who would it be?
Oh my gosh.
Past or present?
Oh my gosh, so many. Gee whiz, what you threw one on me?
Yeah, I know. I do that every now and then. I do that every now.
Past or present leader? Of course, Dr. Martin Luther King.
Okay.
Yeah, even though he's with the Lord, I would love to sit down and talk with him.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I can get down with that. All right. I'm feeling. Okay, we're gonna get into this thing, and Erica, I know you've been doing it for 20 years plus. You've been doing this thing for a minute, but a lot of people don't know who you are. So we're just gonna give people the background on Erica B. How did you start airbrushing?
I was actually thinking about this too. I actually didn't start out airbrushing.
Okay.
I started out hand painting.
Okay.
It really was the fall semester of the last term I was going to do at the University of Montevallo. I started hand painting a couple of pairs of jeans for my roommate and another young lady that used to hang out with us too on campus.
Gotcha.
So after I didn't go back to school, I came home and I kept my regular job. I was working for Crystal Hamburger, flipping those hamburgers and stuff. And my coworker's best friend came to pick him up from work, and he had on these hand painted jeans. And I looked at those and I was like, where did you get those jeans from? And we actually flipped the story. I actually was coming home on the weekends working there. So it was him that I saw with the jeans, and he told me where to get the supplies. And I went to, as long as this store been around, they're still here, Michael's Arts and Crafts. I went and bought 3 colored markers, red, black, and green. And I took a pair of my own jeans. I painted 1 rose on one leg, wore them to pick up my check, and everybody at my job was like they thought he painted them. And I said, no, he told me what to get, but I did this myself. You did not. Yes, I did. And so everybody at my job was bringing me their jeans, want me to hand paint them. And I was literally up to like I am sometimes now, late at night, early in the morning. I was up at 4 o'clock. It got to the point to where I didn't even have to spend my paychecks from my regular job. I was just putting them to the side, saving them. But a lot of people don't, and you'll find this out as a talk. The hand painting took too long.
Yes.
And one of my coworkers just encouraged me to learn how to airbrush. And I was like, I don't even know what that is. She's like, Erica, like they do at the mall and the beach. And I said, oh, okay, great. So I go to the mall and I'm standing there watching and I'm actually asking questions. And what they call it gatekeeping. Nobody would really tell me what to do or how to do it. So I just said, I'm going to find this. I'm going to figure this out. So I went back to Michael's, asked them, do you sell airbrush guns? And they said, yeah, we do. So come back here to the back. And there was this big glass display. I don't know what I'm buying. Like, I don't even know which one to buy. And the manager said, I'll tell you which one everybody buys is this one. And I said, okay. And she said, you sound like you're really serious about learning this. I said, I am. She said, I'll tell you what, if you come back Tuesday, I'm going to give you my manager's discount just because I see the passion. That's okay. Came back, bought my first airbrush gun. Still didn't know what I was doing. Because back then when I started actually with the airbrush in 92, it wasn't YouTube, no TikTok, none of this was out. So it was just books. And there was a couple of videos that you could buy. And they cost probably about $40 at the time.
VHS.
Yes, VHS. I still have some of those instructional videos actually. And I just started practicing with water just to get the feel of it. And I finally moved to black. And I was so nervous. And I said, I got to learn how to do this. And the first person I painted was Ice Cube on a pair of shorts.
Yeah.
And I found that picture actually. I mean, that was a long time ago. And so just continuing to do that. And I grew up in a Christian home. By the way, my parents are both ministers, but I hadn't really quite committed myself fully at that time. I grew up in church, and lo and behold, in the 90s, the most popular rappers at that time was Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. Mm-hmm. And so they had that song out, boy, the Chronic. And so
double CD.
Yeah, right. I just love hip hop. And so but one of the requests I always had was, people were coming to me asking me to paint a marijuana plant on the shirt because the album cover had that.
Yes.
And I was just doing it because it felt to me, it just felt like a fad. It would have been like a big deal. And so my mom saw me painting them and she was like, what are you putting on this shirt? And I'm like, oh, it's just, it's like the plant like on the, Dr. Dre. Everybody's into it. So she was like, okay. So then she came back by my workspace again. And she was like, you still painting those shirts? I was like, yeah. So she was like, The third time she came back, she said, okay, look, you got to stop. So you got to get out this house painting that stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I ain't going to handle well to paint. But it really was the Lord himself that really showed me what my purpose was. And he told me, he said, you're not adding to the he said, you're not adding a solution. You're only adding to the problem.
Wow.
And so I started to learn more about fasting and praying. Went on a pretty much like an overnight fast, and God just dealt me so heavily. And I mean, I heard him clearly. He telling me like what to do, and because at that time it was just all about Erica B. But the name of the company, Prophetic Airbrush Designs, that was prophetic. That came through my mom's old coworker. She said, tell your daughter that the airbrush that I see her doing is prophetic. And I said, what is that? And so my mom explained to me. She said, it means the Lord shows you how to do what you're doing. And so one of my very best friends, she's actually pastoring in Tennessee with her husband. Her name is Apostle Tawana Ballard. She actually helped me design my first business card. She came home one day and she was like, I'm going to stop by there and see y'all. We're just working on the computer. And I told her I need a business card. She said, girl, I got you. I'm going to design it for you. So she said, what is it? Isn't it Prophetic Airbrush Designs? At the time, it was just Prophetic Airbrush. And I said, keep that. I like designs, which I didn't know later on that would actually, it started to incorporate the things like I've done for Pastor Short T, the apparel, the dresses, and all these different things. My one of my old mentors told me, he said, Eric, you got to keep putting your artwork out there on apparel because a lot of people don't see this often.
Yes. And
there were times when I literally would just sit there and just look at a shirt and I could see the lines, and the Lord would show me like, draw it like this and like that, just all that, just spending time in prayer and just focus on the mission, what he was showing me. And now another part of this testimony, when I stopped doing like all the bad stuff, a lot of my clients were gang members, they were drug dealers, and they didn't like that, and I actually got some threats, what they used to call the Cross 10th Crips. Wow. This is like the area that's over there by the airport.
Okay.
So, and it actually, I just realized that the community that we live in, it was actually blood territory. And I used to see a lot of people on the corners wearing red, never thought about it. And I said, this makes sense now. And so if I did something for a blood, the Crips would be mad about that. And it was vice versa. So I was like, I don't want to be caught up in the middle of this anymore. So learning as a business owner, back then, like I said, I'm learning. I really don't know what I'm doing. had our home address on my business card.
Yes.
So one of the gang members called and was like, yo, is this Erica B? And I'm like, yeah. He was like, mm-hmm. So we don't want to do our stuff no more? And I was like, what you mean? Who is this? He's like, don't worry about who this is. You would know we stay at. And he was cursing me.
Wow.
And I'm sitting here like, bro, he hung up in my face. And I'm going to the one like, I think we need to be calling 911. She was like, girl, ain't nobody come over here. I'm like, you sure? You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And so, yeah, it got real serious. And some of my coworkers, they were my, I guess you would say, sales staff.
Okay.
And because I did, like I said, there wasn't no social media. So everything I was doing, I would take pictures, take it to Erica's, get it printed, double printed, and I started making these books of all of my designs.
Yeah.
And so before I knew it, man, I had like a whole staff of 12 people. And so I didn't realize that at that time the Lord showed me those are your disciples. So they were taking the artwork, these books, to different schools in the city. Just about every local city Birmingham school, I had a sales rep there. And so they would, and so I remember one of my sales reps came back from Woodlawn High School, which was where I graduated, and he showed me. He said, "Eric, I got to show you design. I don't know if we should be doing this." I said, "What is it?" And I met a police officer that gave me a dare book, and I saw in there all the different symbols that graffiti is not really graffiti. These are gang symbols. Mm-hmm. And so when he showed me that paper, that's when I said, "This is gang affiliated. We can't do this." And so he took it back to school. Him and the guy got into a fight. And he actually got suspended for like a few days. And I said, I don't need you going to school to get suspended. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But he was, I don't care. He said, I just want to make sure we're doing what you told us to do. And that passion, just passing it down, was like, wow, somebody's really standing up for what's right. You know, like they're willing to sacrifice it all. And so there was another design that came back that was just regular cartoon characters. It was Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse, which seems innocent. But this one actually had... Mickey Mouse was on his knees begging for his life, and Minnie Mouse was holding the weapon, like, I'm going to kill you. And this is like, what? You know, and we were coming up against all kind of different stuff. I started, back then, it was no mailing stuff, delivering stuff. I was delivering, like, on foot, driving, visiting these people. I mean, now they call it trap houses. Back then, you know, we call them, what do we call them? It was just crack houses. You know? Yeah. And so back then, I mean, I'm delivering these T-shirts and stuff to these people's houses, not really realizing that, you know, these houses, and literally a lot of them they would be busted by the time I would pass back by. They would like crack down, like the police had gotten to them.
So God had you covered the whole way.
Man,
now,
I'm talking about a lot.
Now I met you when I moved to Birmingham. At Kendrick.
Oh God, yeah. Wow. When Kendrick, it was
family
yes.
Christian. Yes. I'm at Bush at Kendrick. But you know, I was coming to Birmingham, new Christian artist, and we connected then, found out you were at Advocate Center, and this thing just kept going. And I remember telling you, you know, because you were doing it at the house, and I remember telling you, you need to mobilize. And thank God you took the advice. and next thing I know, you're doing parks, you know, doing the little kids. I wish she had a helmet up here, because she do the little kids. She's done a little bit of everything. I remember we came over there when my son was playing at the park playing football. You did socks for him and everything.
I remember those.
Yeah. So, but you've always been involved with the hip hop culture. For those who don't understand, the graffiti is part of the culture. So what she's doing is part of this culture, and being part of this culture also, it parallels what we do in the church as well, because a lot of the tapestry and things, that's part of the culture of God, but it's the same way it parallels through this, but you're glorifying God every time. And when people bring things to you, like she said she could see, I gotta go on and do it. This right here, that jacket right there. Let me. That right there, she did that, and that was on my Classified Ads album. Oh, sorry. Let me angle that out a little bit. Yeah, and she killed it. And I just always would give her something, and she goes from there. So when you tell her your idea, she's going to take it to the next level. That's the way God does things. So you ain't got to worry about that. Also, I got the classic.
I got another one on
yeah. Let me throw that one out there. Now, that one right there, I have to cover up my face on that one, because that one I can still wear it too.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. And she did this one when I was pastoring the hip hop church. Got pastor on the front of it and everything. So,
man, how old is that jacket?
you're talking about 2004 when I started pastoring the hip hop church.
That's a long time. Yeah.
Yes. You didn't just start doing this yesterday. No. And I didn't just start rapping and stuff yesterday neither.
That's right.
So when you bring stuff to her, you're going to get top notch. We're going to go through some pictures right quick of what you've done, Erica, and you just tell us what they are, and because you're doing things for athletes that are just amazing. Okay. Tell us about these.
Okay, you know what? Do you know who Chris Burrell is, the attorney?
Yes.
Okay, he reached
Friend of
out. Yeah, good guy.
Yes.
He reached out to me one day and just told me, he was like, "Listen, I didn't even know what was going on Facebook because I'm just working." He said, "Listen, your name popped up so many times. I had to reach out." He said, "I saw your work and I just knew I'm gonna work with you." Okay, so he said, "Listen, I got an opportunity for you." He said, "I need some shoes designed for an auction," and so he started to tell me about the foundation. And he said, "You ever heard of Mike Slive?" And I'm like, name doesn't ring a bell.
SEC.
And that's what, and so he sends me the website. He said, "Look at this link," and I look at the website, and I'm going, "Oh," I said, "This guy standing in front of the SEC logo."
Yes.
And he said, "Yeah, that's Mike Slive." He says, "Actually, he's deceased." He said, "But he has a foundation to help with prostate cancer because of what he passed from." His daughter is leading this organization now. He said there is a big event. They have it every year, Erica. He said it's at down at the what's our park here, the baseball park.
Oh, Regents.
Yeah, at Regents Park. So he says there's going to be an auction there. He said, "I need these shoes to be one of the pieces for auction." He said, "Let me know how much." And I said, "Okay." So he tells me when it is. I'm going, it's kind of short. So he's like, "You think you can make it?" I said, I believe we can make it. So he said, "Let me know what I need to do." He said, "We'll go ahead and take care of it." And I paint the shoes. And he because I remember the first time he asked me, he said, "Can you put his signature on there?" And I was like, "I have a machine that should help me get the stencil for it." And he picked them up. He's like, "Oh my God, Eric, I love them." He was like, "You should come." I'm like, "Come where?" He was like, "You should come." He said, "I'm gonna put you on the list." So I'm like, "Okay." So he's like, and he's telling me, he's like, "Erica, it's people there. They got some money." I said, "Okay." So I don't have anything really, really formal. So I was like, I'm gonna just wear the best black I have. And I got there and I'm going up the elevator and I'm walking in. And I remember at the table, the lady, because I had never been to an auction like this. She says, "Do you need a paddle?" And I was like, "A paddle? No." Let me just go inside. So,
you're not bidding on nothing.
No. And especially the items that I saw that were being bid. And then the guy from Michael Eves from ESPN, he was there. He was hosting.
Okay.
There was a speaker. I mean, it was just an amazing event. I mean, just the whole atmosphere. And I'll never forget, like I said, I didn't know anybody but Chris and his wife. And so I'm trying to hang with them. He's like, "Erica, go mingle." I'm like,
go meet people.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, go meet people.
I had a whole backpack full of, which I did this on purpose. I bought my wristbands that have my the name of my company and my motto, which is God getting these hands on there. And man, I just went around the room, just passed them out, just meeting people, got to the auction part. And it was just so surreal. It was just a whole different feeling.
That's a whole different environment.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. And just the fact that, and I actually picked up some clients, saying from that opportunity too, that we're still connected this day.
Awesome. Oh, now look at those right there. Tell us about those.
Okay, so when Deion Sanders became the head coach for Colorado, at the beginning, before the first game, his son, Deion Sanders Jr., he's actually part of the media staff. He has his own company called Well Off Media. And he was always around, like video. I think he was actually the first video that I saw on YouTube when Deion was introducing himself to the team. And so one of the things I noticed was that a lot of people were starting to gift Deion, the staff and everybody with just things. And I started to think about it. I said, "Man, I need to send something." And I said, "I'm going to send some cleats." And I just looked up on eBay, found the cleats, and I studied a video of Deion Sanders Jr. explaining some tattoos he had on his hand, and just hearing his passion about how, he no longer played football, but he's so vetted in supporting his dad. And just, he said he was talking about how he was crying out, asking God, "What about me? Like my purpose and everything." And I was like, man, and I said, "I'm going to do this." And found the address online. I told that man, the UPS, "Listen, this is very important." I need to make sure these get there.
Yes.
And I actually remember, I'll never forget, because they never showed everything they opened because the gifts were coming in like rapidly.
Yes.
And I never forget the day when I was watching him and he had his cell phone up doing FaceTime with Shador and his dad. And I said, "I see my box," because I had my logo I have like this tape that has my logo on it, and it was taped around the box. I see my box, and then I get tagged on Instagram, and I was like, oh, he opened the box, and I'm thinking like, it's gotta show up. And the next thing I know, like on the video on YouTube, the last segment, he only opened up 2 gifts, and one was from me and another guy. I was the last box that he opened up. He read the letter, even showed my logo, and just shouted me out, and I was like, what is this? Like, it was just that feeling to just be able to have somebody to recognize your gifts. But like I said, I was sowing a seed, so I just wanted to get it to him. And he still has them sitting on his glass coffee table in his apartment right now.
Hey, Brad, could you show the close-up of the Stephen M. Smith?
Oh, yeah.
Now go to that close-up. Now look at that. Look at how clear that is. That is amazing right there. And then we got so many things right here, Erica, that are with us. The Jordans. Then these sneakers right here. Right here. These actually were done for my son, and they're Spider-Man.
I can see you.
Wow. And she did those, and I just was amazed. I'm talking about looks like Spider-Man's mask is on the toe of his cleats. And she got that, of course, on her site and everything. Erica, got your basketball up there. You got Crocs up here. It's just crazy everything that you're doing. I want to just, first of all, say thank you for everything that you do for the body of Christ. Amen. Because you represent us. If you feel in your spirit that you shouldn't do it, if somebody coming to her, she ain't putting nothing vulgar on there. If you want something bent over, that ain't happening. I'm just putting it out there. Right. That ain't happening. But Erica, how can they get in touch with you if they want to get in touch with you?
Okay, you can find me online. Actually, I have a website.
Come on, give us the website, and we'll put it in the chat.
Okay, it's propheticairbrush.com.
Okay.
I actually have a form on there that people can fill out quickly for inquiry. Just for me to get back with you, it'll come directly to my email. I'm everywhere where everybody else. That's what I tell everybody. So on Instagram, I'm on there twice because I have a shoe page that's called Erica B Kicks. That's where you'll see the items like these cleats and those shoes.
Okay.
And then I have another page that's for the apparel. Like his jackets, that's PA Designs, P as in Paul, A as in Apple Designs. On TikTok, I'm on there. It's Erica B1. I'm actually on TikTok because of my goddaughter. I was not going to do TikTok because I'm keeping up every. She said, please get on there. And I'm glad I did because I'm getting support from there too.
That's it. So, propheticairbrush.com. All right, because I got my man Ray Ballard on here. He's in California.
Really?
Yes, he's in California. and Miss Travestine, she wants you. Hey, you're gonna have to come down there to Lynn Park because she's on here, and I see other people.
There go Mama C right there.
Mama C on there. Hey, and thank you, Carla. Thank you for checking in, and everybody else that's checking in. Man, thank you, Brad, for putting that up there. Appreciate man, it's been good. So before we get out of here, Erica, there are people that don't know what to do with their gifts, and but you had people in your corner that really gave you guidance. And so, what would you say to that person that's out there they got a gift and they just trying to figure it out? Give them some words of encouragement and just speak life to them.
Anything that you commit to God, especially your gift, trust that He's going to be with you in it. So like I said, even though I didn't have, like at the beginning, I didn't even understand what a mentor was, business coach or anything like that. Just make sure that you keep that at the forefront. Don't be ashamed to even make that a part of your model, your business, values or whatever. That's one thing that I've learned and just stay true to who you are, what God told you. A lot of people are trying to figure out and navigate how to be successful. And I tell everybody, I do the same thing God told me to do at the beginning. I got to stay focused, stay committed. I tithe, I sow, I confess faithfully. All those things is what continues to open up those doors. So don't compromise as well. That's one of the biggest things. I can say I've walked away from people that have put big stacks of money in my face, and I said no because I was not going to compromise on what God told me, and I didn't lose. It may seem like it, but there was always something that God was going to bring for me better.
You winning. Hey, we winners, and we continue to declare it because people that come on here, they get blessed.
Amen.
Hey, it's next level when you come on here. Hey, we in BGTV studios. It's next level in here. People that come in here, great things happen, and we're standing on that. But I just want to encourage you guys to just continue to press forward. And all my student athletes, if you want to get with her, go to propheticairbrush.com and get her to do some stuff for you. They wearing them on the football field, baseball field, all that on every level. At the little league on up, they wearing it. So, and we claiming there's some pros coming too.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes,
all right. Put the giving tools on the screen. Yes, we want. Hey, you love what we doing, and we bringing great guests on here. Please go ahead and give at bgtvstudios.com. That's the website. You can go to Venmo at bgtv-studios, or you can do Cash App, $ BGTV Studios. Help us out to keep great programming coming to you. And I'm telling you now, we are doing great things. Erica, thank you for coming on here. And hey, we look for great things to happen. And remember, you've been checking out Break the Huddle podcast with your guy, Pastor Short T. And remember, we're unashamed, we're breaking chains, and all of that is in Jesus' name. And we are out of here. We love y'all. Peace.